Greetings everyone, and Great here for another Company Wars 1 replay. Spawn on the south side as the British forces with Topgaming. Spawn as teammate as the US player NUEVE. Over here as the Panzer Elite player of rbtfrpp, and as his teammate as the Panzer Elite player of boyd333. Jimboggin here, Edingrad here. And scope rifles are making their way forward and perhaps eyeing to capture this fuel point and deploy his HQ there. Another infantry section being deployed on out. No lieutenant on the build queue. Not packing up the HQ on the build queue either. Engineers have deployed out at barracks. Got riflemen deployed on out. One engineer? Okay, looks like it's not deploying out any additional engineers. It's generally, in my opinion, it's probably a good idea to go for extra engineers to get some early game capping pressure, because you have a Brit as an ally. Getting the territories, especially on this map, getting territories linked between the US player and the Brit players would be quite useful in order to prevent, so he can pack up and not lose income. Same from the US player as well. Fresh rifleman squad, they need to capture this point as soon as possible, so they can link up the territories so the Brit can pack on up without losing any sort of income. Brand carrier, yep, you can see here, packing on up, you can see all these territories are out of sector now, and now they're in sector, or in supply. Hand grenadiers making their way forward, scope rifles are here, behind that destroyed truck. And we've got both players, Panzer Grenadiers, advancing, trying to hit that Brit as heavily as they can in order to prevent him from solidifying this region. Bren carriers advancing as well with the unupgraded infantry section. It's cool, so going to mix of it. And now all four of those rifles are firing for the Bren carrier, though the Bren itself needs to start getting proper angle. And now Shimboggin advancing, trying to decapture this point. Or maybe not, having for that munitions point. Scope rifles have made a soft retreat there, setting on up on this fuel point. He needs to get out his infantry sections over there and start solidifying it, because he's a bit vulnerable in the time being. Brandon carrier going the mix of everything, but he's going to receive fire from multiple Panzer Grenadiers. He's treated back that squad, maybe he shouldn't have. It looks like one of the players may be lagging a little bit. This squad will need to fall back. This is not the one that's lagging. Does fall back now. And now the Bren carrier is advancing. Scope rifles are not really firing away. Bren carrier is severely wounded, needs some self-repair ability. Does utilize self-repair ability now. And now we got an infantry half-track deployed about yellow. That should give some good aggression to help apply pressure onto the the British player. Let's use the suppressify ability there on not the scope rifle squad as the British carrier is advancing. Good to keep one of these infantry sections or Panzer Grenadiers loaded up in the back of the infantry half-track. And now the British carrier is fighting away against the infantry half-track, and not vice versa. US players pulling out a machine gun emplacement there. And now the rifleman starts advancing toward his British teammate. This squad will need to fall back. He's quite wounded. Does recover from suppression finally. Largely thanks to the fact the infantry half-track was constantly firing as well, because that could cause suppression, and does get a wipe there. I think he used Boyd detonated marksman. I actually don't believe so. Jimboggin skirting around, says hello, and says goodbye. That squad did fall back. Riflemen now charging forward. This Panzer Grenadier squad will need to fall back. It does fall back in time and not get wiped out. 30 cal finds Shimboggin, he's good damage onto it, and the Bren carrier should be able to hunt down that Shimboggin. Looks like the US player is lagging a little bit. I do got a casualty clearing station here, so now casualties can be recovered by the Brit, as well as healing. The trap track is still very, very healthy there. It does get buckled by the Bren carrier. Rifleman squads apparently do not have sticky bombs just yet, and does get suppression on one of those rifleman squads. This Grenadier will need to fall back. Both of them do fall back. Mortar raining on in from the mortar half track. Section trying to charge on forward. There's two infantry half tracks deployed out by the Northern Panzer Grenadier Panzer Elite player. Oh, and losing a lieutenant at this stage game is not a good idea. Riflemen are severely wounded, at least one of them. That squad should fall back and maybe make his way over to his teammates' casualty clearing station. Decides to run over here. Over here, single Panzer Grenadier squad is being overrun by the Rifleman squad. Oh, and now we got bars. That's going to be a dead wiped out Panzer Grenadier squad. Didn't even retreat back.
German target.
That's going to be a lot of bars. The wounded rifleman squad, 4 members, less than 10% health. We've captured that point there. To get inside this garrison. That should be good to garrison fight from. Mortar does find a decent splash hit there, knock around those forces. The rifleman squad will be able to decapture the point, but will potentially receive more losses before retreating back. Does fall back there now.
Reporting for duty, sir.
Sir?
Fresh captain deployed out on the field.
Resources captured.
Leningrad will be repaired on up. And something hit there. Must be a mortar from the mortar half track. Oh. Paratroopers now dropping on in. So we may see some recoilless rifles and other things that sort. So one doctrine is known and selected. Likely we're going to see Royal Artillery for the Brit. Don't see any indications what doctrine he has actually selected, however. But we do got a Stuart. Panzer Jaeger command, likely for some 222s. Stuart's making his advance. Panzer Grenadiers are in the region. Does find a miss there on those squads. Panzer Grenadiers here are suppressed. Tank Buster squad has been floated out, but with it being suppressed, he won't be able to get any hits on the Stuart. He may try to get a Panzer Track onto the Bread Carrier. Does get a good hit there. And maybe we'll finish it off there. Does finish it off right there. Stuart's a little bit late. Does wipe out the non-Panzer squad there. And does spot the landmines there with his Schimbagen. Nothing compared down the field and ready to engage that Stuart. We got a Panzer Track squad here, and the Kettengrad does receive quite a bit of fire from the riflemen. Panzer Grenadiers here are quite wounded. Got the mortar half track in the region. Tankbuster squad here try to hit the Stuart. Got 2 mortar half tracks, 1 for each player. Panzer finds a shot there. Does hit the Stuart there. Did less damage than actually expected. It wasn't overhealed either. Two Panzer tracks firing. Rolls a miss there. This one has not fired. Does get a good hit there. I thought Panzer did a bit more damage to the Stuarts. I thought it was like a 3-shot kill. I may have been mistaken. I'm probably thinking Hellcats and M10s, those are 3-shot to kill.
Ready to have it out.
Group ready, sir.
Mortar half tracks raining some mortars on these various riflemen. Does get a decent hit there. Lands right in the middle of the group, which usually means really good damage, which was good damage, but not a whole lot of kills. Good pen truck hits there, and takes out the Steward there. A bit foolish for the Steward. Grenadiers here will likely get forced back. There's a lot of intersections in this region with the Lieutenant to support. Rifleman charging forward, trying to gun down the mortar. Does gun down the mortar. He does go and drop a bar right there. Picks it up with the Pence Grenadier there. Good mortar hit there on the Rifleman as well. They do fall back. No squad wipes there for the US player, as these forces are falling back themselves. Looks like the X players are casting the GG already. At least one of them. That would be the brown one here. And both of them has backed out of the game. Decided that they can't win the game, so they backed out. Relatively short game then. And that's the end of the replay. This is Adam Gray saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay.